at Hobby Lobby today while I was looking for Christmas wreaths, and I thought I must have these. They look like little gemstones. Oh, 12 degrees. I can't do winter, y'all. Thank you, Lisa. And I had to have them. They were 60% off of $2.99, so they were dirt cheap, and there are 6 of them in here, so we're going to use one today on our snowman. I did draw the snowman like 5 minutes ago, so he's a little bit of a hot mess, and I'm kind of trying to decide how we're going to do this, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and turn the camera down and let you guys kind of help me make some decisions here. Okay, so we're definitely going to make our cute little snowman. He's going to be all glass. Did you, Marilyn? That's awesome. So I've cut out a hat out of sheet glass. Thank you, Pamela. Appreciate you appreciating it. Thank you, Stacy. I had some black sheet glass that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, so I cut out a little crazy hat for my snowman out of that sheet glass. And then I had a little scrap of white, so we're going to use that for his hat band. And then I think we're going to take our little cardinal and put him right on his hat as we go. So these were located, Louise, you know, back in the back of the store, like when they have that main center aisle in the back, and they have all those just little paper craft Christmassy things like stickers and such. That's what this is. I'm pretty sure this is just a little sticker. So that's where I found that. Anyway, I cut him out a little nose as well. And I cut out, I'm going to give him a blue scarf because my mom loves snowmen and she loves blue. So we're going to accommodate the Mad Margie, and we're going to give him a cute little glass scarf. Now this was made from a vase, okay? This is one of those little mercury glass vases, also from Hobby Lobby, and I just snipped a couple of pieces to make a cute little scarf that will go over the glass that we're going to put down for his body. All right, what else? Oh, here is what I was going to ask you guys about. I'm going to put these little pieces here. So I'll also have this. I have some little black stones. They're just like pebbles that I'm going to use for his eyes, his mouth, and his little buttons on his little belly. All right, Mom is doing great. She's mean as junkyard dog, right, Mom? Are you here, Mom? She's not here. She's at a basketball game, but she's doing really well. Okay, so that is kind of the parts we're going to use. I am going to use some Starfire glass for my snowman's body. So we'll add his head, his butt, his tummy, hey bam girl, and his bottom parts with this glass. And then we'll add his eyes, nose, mouth, all the things. We'll add his hat. But here's the question, y'all. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Amy. Bless her heart. I know that is heart-wrenching. I am going to do a background, of course, and I was thinking about doing like a sky, but I want to show y'all what I found at Hobby Lobby. This is, I'm trying to see what the name is, but I can't read it at all. It's so tiny. Look at this. Do you guys know what this is? I am going to flip this over. Oh, you can't tell. I'm just going to move this. Do you guys know what this is? This is so cool. It is on sale, KN, at my Hobby Lobby occasionally, but not very often. About once a month, maybe less. And I did actually cut the glass for his hat. I used my scoring tool and just I just scored out a rectangle out of a little piece of scrap black glass and then just snapped it out. Okay, still not, oh, Stacy Ann, I'm so sorry to hear that. So look at this stencil. What is this? Is this not super cool? I came across this stencil, and it is a crackle stencil. I don't know if you guys ever tried using crackle. Hey, Desiree. But sometimes crackle can be a pain in the rear, to put it lightly, because you never know what you're going to get. You never know if it's going to work. You never know if you're going to have big crackles or little crackles. But this is a crackle stencil. Oh my goodness. So I had to have it. I fell completely in love. So I kind of want to use it on the background of our snowman. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint a little bit of a bluey sky and some Roll Tide and some white snow at the bottom. Then I'm going to use some pearl, and we are going to add a little bit of crackle on the background. It may not turn out great, I don't know, but I have to use it. I just have to do it, okay? I just have to use it, so y'all bear with me. And if it looks terrible, then y'all know not to do it, okay? So I do smooth my edges with a honing stone when I break vase glass or when I cut. So I cut my little snowman nose from this little orange strip. So anywhere there's a point, I just rub it on the little stone, okay? So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna put some white and some blue on my canvas for a sky. Then we're gonna dry that. Y'all beat my tar heels. I'm not a basketball fan, Melanie, so cuss away. Cuss them out. I'm gonna grab a plate. I'm gonna put a little white on my plate. Yeah, I totally painted or sketched this snowman like 10 minutes before we started, 5 minutes or something like that. Because I knew I wanted to do a snowman, and I sketched a couple out on the top of my canvas. You can see here where I always sketch them on my canvas first, and I didn't like any of them, so I just kept trying. All right, so a little bit of white, a little bit of spa blue. Yes, it's just a wrapped canvas, back staple canvas, okay? Thick glass is a little harder to break and work with, but it can be done. Just kind of have to know how to wrangle it. So I'm going to get a little bit of this light blue. This is actually called spa blue. And we did some texture. I love doing crackle out of white school glue. So, okay, I was just moving it around too much. We're going to stay right here. So, but I just saw this stencil and I thought I just had to have it. So let me do this. So I'm going to just start by painting my canvas white, okay? Because I do want a blue sky, but I don't want it to be uncontrollably blue. So I'm going to put white on my entire canvas just in a really quick, messy fashion. Just get it on. It doesn't have to look, you know, you don't have to paint like this. Just get that stuff on there, because we're going to work wet on wet with our blue. And then I can't wait to see what happens with this stencil. Hopefully it won't be a terrible hot mess. But I always like to, like in my membership, I like to be the scapegoat or the, you know, experimenter, so that if something bad happens, it's on me and not making a mess for my peoples. So here we go. So I'm going to go into my blue now. I'm going to offload some of this white. And I'll post a link to the stencil when we're done, okay? So I'm just going to add some blue to my sky. This is a nice wintry blue. And I'm going to leave some of the bottom white, because that's our snow. And you know how normally I would like make a very high-low, crazy background? Well, I'm going to do that again. I like to just get the paint on, move it around. Some places are darker, some places are lighter, so it looks more natural instead of a solid color base finish, okay? Yeah, you could try it. Just whack it with a hammer first, Stacy. Okay, so now I'm going to take my heat gun and we're going to dry this up real quick so that I can try my stencil, because I'm chomping at the bit to do that. So let's blow dry this with my heat gun. Yes. The stencil was like, oh, let's have it. So cute. All right, so we're gonna get this dry so I can stencil over the top. It does look wintry, doesn't it? Almost there, guys. I don't want my stencil squishing my paint around, so I want to make sure that it's dry. All right, so we're good to go. Now I'm going to use white, or actually I'm going to use pearl because the pearl's a little translucent. This is Anita's metallic white, which is kind of pearl. Hello, Ella. So we're going to try that. So I have a stencil brush. You can get a stencil brush at any craft store. I like a fat one that has a lot of thick bristles. And you're gonna need a nice paper towel too, okay? Because you want to offload. Now I want you to look at this and you can see that it has a line. It's got like a frame around it. Can you see that right here where it's a hard line? I don't want a hard line in my piece. So I'm gonna scooch that over and make sure that that line is off of my canvas, okay? And I'm just gonna do this willy-nilly. A lot of times, if you're using a stencil, you'll wanna use stencil adhesive on the back so that everything's perfect. But this is totally an experiment, and we're not trying to make it perfect, and the snowman is gonna cover up a lot of the things, a lot of the stencil, so, and we may have to change the color, so we're just going for it. Now I'm going to take my stencil brush and I'm going to load paint on the tips of the bristles. Then I'm just going to pounce some of that off, and that works it into the bristles. Then I'm going to come over here to my paper towel and I'm going to swirl it on my paper towel to get off any excess. Now I have a feeling we're going to need to like put some gray in this, but we're going to try this first. And I am swirling around and around in a circle, very gently, to see what kind of effect we can create. I need to move my hand down. I don't want to move my stencil. See if we can see the crackly business. Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see that. I'm going to whittle it around and show you. Can you guys see that? Give me some thumbs up if you can see that crackle. It is so subtle and so, but you can see it more in person than on the video, but it's super subtle and not in your face. So I absolutely love that. So I'm going to take my stencil and I am just going to, I can overlap right over the top. I don't see any repeat. Well, I do see a repeat line, but it seems like, no, I don't. So I'm just going to go up, find a place, and we're going to just hit that again. Because it's crackle. It's no big deal. Offload, swirl, get off the excess, and we're just going to, whoops. See, I don't even care. We're just going to add some more crackle to this side. This is the easy way to crackle. So let me show you that. Look how cool that is. Oh my goodness. So I'm not gonna put my stencil down into my snow, but I am going to do the bottom half. So I'm gonna find where it starts and stops, just eyeballing it. I'm gonna hold this down. I'm gonna get more paint on my brush, swirl it in, then swirl it off. Will you give me some fresh water? And I'm gonna hold my stencil. Whoops, that was the wrong place to hold it. I'm gonna hold my stencil, and I'm not gonna do in the white. I'm just gonna do in that blue area and add some more crackle. Now imagine this. You know how if you paint something dark, then you add crackle size, and then you crackle, and you never know what you're gonna get. And maybe it's brown underneath. You could totally do brown instead of pearl if you wanted like a real a real crackly look, like authentic. Let me show you real quick. Let me find something to put it on. Hang on. I'm going to grab something. I'm going to grab another canvas or something I can show you. And I'm going to grab a different color. And we're going to do a little demo on this stencil. And I'm going to use a dark gray. Let's find a dark gray. So I'm going to show you what this would look like. Hey, Bo. I'm going to show you what this would look like in a darker color. I'm wanting to go subtle. So that's what we're doing here. But let me show you what it would look like if you did a darker color. All right. I'm going to add some of that gray. I'm going to try to get some of this pearl off my brush. Now I'm going to go in to my gray and do the same thing. You're going to load it onto your brush, pat it through, pop it into those bristles. Then you're going to offload, get some of that excess off. Now we're going to take our stencil. We're going to line it up. I'm going to hold it tight. This canvas is loose. Let's see. I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to do a little section using the gray. I'm going to take a peek. Oh my goodness, y'all. So instead of going through all the headache that crackle can bring, you can totally cheat now. Let me show you this. Boom. Check that out. That is so cool. I love it. Is that not awesome? Look, it's stuck to my finger. Stuck to my hand now. So is that not super fun? I love this. So now I'm going to have to do some crackle on this one. Maybe tomorrow. But we're going to move on with our cute little snowman and his crackly pearl background. Isn't that a cute stencil, Tamara? I love it. It is a crackle stencil. It's kind of like cheating, right? I love anything that makes your life easier. Anything. All right, so I'm going to stick this in some water so it doesn't get icky, because stencil brushes can get stiff and icky quick. Hang on. All right. I don't want that to get messed up. So now, one of the things I wanted to ask you guys about too is, thank you for the stars. I kind of pushed my snowman over to one side. So, because I was kind of thinking, you can use those wipes, Kathy, to clean your stencil. I'll give you a little, oh, I'm out of wipes on my desk. But you totally can use that. Just be gentle so you don't bend down or bend back any of, like, see how that has that separation? You don't want to bend that. So you want to be super gentle, leave it on a flat surface, and wipe it off really gently. Thank you for the stars, Georgia. So one of the things I was thinking about is moving my snowman either in the center and giving him some arms, or, thank you, Michelle, moving him over. I have these little signs that I use in my studio. I was thinking about adding a little sign and writing on here, snowballs for sale, and then putting a mound of snowballs, because I have these beads that look like snowballs. I was thinking about putting a mound of snowballs right there under his sign. So slap yes or no on the sign, because I'll need to figure out where I'm going to lay my fella if we're adding snowballs. I'm thinking yes. But you guys, give me some opinions. Isn't that a cool stencil? Oh my goodness, I love it. Trying to put my colors in the right place so I don't forget. Yes, yes, yes. I don't want to forget where they go. Yes to the sign. Okay, sign it is. So here's what I'm going to do. Almost every bit of this is going to be glass, okay? But what I do want to do is go ahead and transfer the shape, and then we'll put a little bit of white paint in there to cover up our, to cover up our tracer lines and so that it's not blue underneath our Starfire glass. All right, we're doing the sign. Here's your sign. Signs and snowballs. So I'm very lightly just gonna trace the outline of his cute little body onto my canvas. So I've got my graphite paper and my stylus. Yes, I would put the arms either way, but where I put them is gonna be dependent on whether we do a sign or not. All right, I'm not doing the scarf because remember his scarf is glass. So I'm just gonna do his head. And I'm gonna do his body, his upper torso, and his lower. And I'm trying to be light so I don't have too much of a black line, but of course that would be too hard for me because I'm a heavy-handed girl. If I was trying to be heavy-handed, it probably would be invisible. What you looking at? All right, so I went and grabbed another color because I want to use that to help highlight our, I'll post the link when we're done. I want to use that to highlight our snowman a little bit. I'm going to get this tape off so I don't mess up my little tracer for my folks. And let's see. Trying to get myself organized here. So I am going to just fill this in with the white so I don't have a blue crackle underneath my Starfire glass. And put this up here. Nobody cares about canvas size today. They just want to know where the stencil is or from. Okay, so I'm going to throw some white right here on his body because we are putting a clear glass on top. So we don't want that blue to show through. And I am covering my tracer line so I don't have to worry about that. Do his body. This is just white paint. Get it on. Trying to make sure I get that tracer line, but I can come in with my pen and correct that. So we'll get his little cute little head. So I have to ask you guys a question while I'm doing this because I got this in my head. Mystery man just walked in and I was thinking about being mad at him this morning. Have you guys ever like had a dream and then woke up mad at your significant other because in the dream they made you mad, and so when you woke up you were just mad as all get out at them and could not be consoled? That happened to me today, and I was like, I am really being unreasonable, but I was like, I could not help myself. I know it sounds so dumb. Look at that crackle. That is so much fun. All right, I think this is gonna need one more little coat. So I'm gonna blow dry. I'm gonna dry this real quick while I wait for your answers and your stories about being mad at your significant other over a dream you had. Sherry said nope. Right? It's like, look, I didn't do anything. Yes. It's hilarious. I was beside myself. I woke up madder than an old wet hen. I was telling them about being mad at you this morning because I dreamed something. All right, we're gonna hit this with another coat of white. You're making me dream bad things.
Dreamed I hurt my back.
Yeah, you dreamed that, all right. You dreamed it. Is that crazy? Yeah, a dream that was just so real. It's like, what was that about? I'm gonna let that dry just a little. I'm gonna put another quick coat. Oh no, Pat, no way. That's hilarious, y'all. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Because I thought, oh my goodness. And I was being unreasonable, and I even knew it. But, you know, it's hard to get past it. It's like, wait a minute. I was mad. Woke up mad. What'd you do? Now, while this paint is dry, I mean wet, not dry. I got off on a tangent. Right, Barb? Get it, right? I'll post a link for the stencil, y'all. Don't worry about it. And if it's cheaper on Amazon, I'll post that stencil too. So while this is wet, I'm going to add a little bit of color. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and just swish through the bottom. I'm going to add my snowman back. And I have a little bit of oyster beige. I'm going to add just a smidge to my plate. And my brush still has all the white. I'm just going to dip one corner into that oyster beige. And I'm going to come around my snowman's body just a smidge on each side, just to kind of create a little bit of a shadow there around the snowman. All right. Now this is going to be covered with glass, so we don't want to worry too much about this as it is. Okay. But if you weren't going to add glass, you could totally come in and just add a little bit of a shadow there as well. But we're adding glass, so we're not going to worry too much about it. So the rest of his body is going to be glass. So let me find my water. There we go. And my cute little sign. Where did I put it? Where'd it go? Here is my little sign. It's like a chalkboard. So I'm going to cut off the string. Oh my goodness, Jenny. Okay, sorry. Trying to get it closer to me, and then I get it out of y'all's view. So maybe I should move this a little. Hang on. Wrong way? No, right way? Wrong way? Okay, maybe that'll work. Oh, Janice, no way, girl. That is too much. Okay, so now here's our sign that we're going to use. So I'm going to just and I'm going to let it overhang my canvas too. So it's kind of hanging off my canvas. And I have some vitrograph that we're going to use for his arms, like holding up the sign. And we're going to add those after we add our other bits of glass. But while we're painting this, I want my sign words to be dry. And so I'm going to use, because I don't paint letters well, I'm going to use a silver marker. I think I have a white Posca pen somewhere. Where's my white Posca? That would be so much better. Hang on, guys. Give me 2 secs. The silver marker, oh, here's my white Posca. The silver marker may run. So I'm going to use my white Posca pen, and we're going to write on, that's so funny. We're going to write on our sign, and we'll let that dry while we do the rest. Okay, so we're going to do snowballs for sale. Ooh, that's wet, so I don't want to do that. I'm going to move that up. My penmanship is terrible, y'all, so bear with me. I'm going to try to be whimsical. Snowballs. I'm going to do 4. Sale. 10 cents. Oh, that says $10, don't it? Too late, I already wrote it. Well, I meant to put 10 cents. I'm not doing very well. Maybe I'll do this. $1. There we go. Doesn't matter how much the snowballs are. All right, let me set these aside. I'm gonna dry this real quick so that we can go ahead and move on. Thank goodness for this heat gun, right? This heat gun is a lifesaver during a live. I am so loving the crackle. I can see it on the screen. Right, Damon? Was that not cute? It's sold, but maybe I can make you another one. So this is nice and dry. So now I'm going to add some glass. This is, right, $1 for a snowball is probably pretty good. Look, if you want me out in the cold collecting snowballs, it's gonna cost you money. It's gonna cost $1. Now, real quick, before I add my glass, I am going to add just a bit of glue right around my edge, just to act as a dam to hold my glass in so it doesn't fall all over the place. I don't always do that, mostly, aw, Damon, mostly when I'm doing smaller things, because it's a little harder to keep it where you want it when you're doing something small. When it's bigger, it's a little easy. I'm just gonna dump some of this Starfire glass, and we're gonna fill around his little body till he's a nice, plump little snowman. We don't need any skinny little snowmans. We need them to be plump and chunky like me. So, right, Sherry? I'm gonna post the stencil in a bit. I feel the same way when I saw it. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Must have. I'm gonna just put some of this snow on his little body. I like it to be thick and fat. Nobody wants a skinny snowman. So just shove that in. And then we're gonna just do the next part up. I'm being a little too nitpicky. Yes! You're gonna need a lot of help. I don't even believe that. I haven't seen anything you couldn't do. Not at this time. All right, so I'm just gonna dump it, and then we'll just push it around. Get it where we need it. Keep dumping. It's just gonna form his cute little triple circle body. We're gonna add his little buttons, his nose, his mouth. All right, now his head. Now I'm gonna stick his hat up here real quick so I don't get snow in his hat area. It is Starfire. Glass is Starfire. Ooh. So we had a huge sale on glass over the holiday weekend, but don't despair. If you've tried to buy glass, that one's too big, and we are out of certain colors. We got a ton, several tons of glass in this evening, and we will be restocking very soon. So don't despair. We also have the Amazing Grace cross cuts that have been very popular this year. His scarf is curved, so he'll be fine. So we do have more Amazing Grace cross kits when these particular ones are sold out. I don't know if we'll be making any more, but I know we won't be making any more before Christmas. So if you were thinking about an Amazing Grace cross kit, you probably should get that now. Because we won't be making any more before Christmas. We are going to take off the week between Christmas and New Year's and rejuvenate and prepare ourselves for the new year. Okay, super cute. Let's put all these chunks back in. So I used a little more than half of a glass of Starfire. So now I have this cute little hat in place. I'm just gonna put one little dot of glue on the back side just so it doesn't jimmy around any and do something crazy. So we'll stick that right on my canvas. Now, I made him a little hat band, so I'm gonna put a teeny bit of glue there, put his little hat band on. And you guys saw my stickers, right? Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Here is my little stickers I got at Hobby Lobby today. They are, let me take them out of the package. They are made by Christmas Paper Crafts, and they were in the back main aisle that goes left to right through the store. And look at those. Are those not cute? Little stickers, guys. So I'm going to peel it off, and it looks like glass. I don't know if you can see that up close, but it totally looks like glass. So I'm going to stick him, look, right on his hat, right there. Oh my goodness, y'all. That's so cute. So cute. Okay, so now scarf. So this is glass I cut from a vase. Just a small little votive from Hobby Lobby. It was a blue mercury glass vase. So I am going to add this. Might need to wiggle some glass around to get it in place, but we're going to add a scarf right in here. Boom. And we are going to add 2 little tails. That might be too big of a tail. Let me see if I can turn it this way. There we go. That's better. Now all we need to do is add little eyeballs. And like I told you earlier, I have these little stones. And I'm trying to see, I need something kind of small for his eyes. I think those 2 will do. So let me put this back in. So I'm going to find out where I want to put my nose first. Because this is all bumpy little glass. So we kind of have to decide where things are going to go. So I'm going to add some glue to the back of my nose. That's just going to help it stay where I want it to be. And we're going to, I got to do a little manipulating. We're going to add his nose right in here somewhere. Right here. Now you be still. All right, so now I'm going to add 2 little drops. 1 drop and, oh, this is almost empty and it's being mean. 1, 2 drops. Now I'm going to add his little eyeballs. Or I'm not. Hang on. I need some tweezers. We'll put 1 eye there. Oh, look, it turned out really cute. 1 eye there. We'll move his nose down just a little. It wants to stick to my finger. So let me look at that. I know my head's in the way. Oh, look. I was gonna do like little black things for his mouth too, but I think there's really not a lot of space. So he's gonna be like me and just keep his mouth shut and nobody knows. Okay, so I'm gonna add a dot here and a button. I'm gonna add a dot of glue. Where? Come on, glue. Come on. Don't y'all hate when you get to the bottom of your glue and it's like nothing will come out? And I don't really even have any more. So it's like, I know you're in there. I know you are. All right, that's probably enough for another button. We'll put that one there. One more. Now it's coming out. I have to try to remember to keep my glue upside down. Okay. Check it. Is that not cute? Oh. Well, you can really see it where I'm from, where I'm sitting, but he's stuck down now because he's got a sticky back. But it does show up, just not as well in the video. Thank you, Dottie. But he does show up in person really nicely. So we're gonna leave him where he is because I don't want to have to peel it off of the hat. All right, so what else? Okay, I'm gonna move his nose a little. And now we gotta decide on arms and hat and signs, etc. So here is our sign that we're gonna put up. So we need his arm, one of his arms to hold that sign. So I think we're gonna go right into here. We're gonna stick his arm right in that glass. We may have to add another little piece of glass there. Let me grab another little piece. Yeah, he is easier to see in person and he is stuck down, Teresa. He's not going anywhere right now. So I'm gonna add another little nugget of glass where I kind of shifted that glass around for his arm. These are wanting to wiggle too, but we can readjust those for once we do our resin. So I'm trying to decide about another arm and it could just be hanging down. Let me break that off a little. Just stick that arm in there, fix his hat. Now it's all about the snowballs, right? Look, the arms are Vitrograph and I bought them on Etsy. And so check out, where'd I put my snowballs? Snowballs? Where are you, snowballs? Oh, here they are. These snowballs are so pretty. Look, they're kind of iridescent. Can you guys see the iridescent color in this? So here's what I want to do. I'm going to use my glue and I'm going to do a pile. So we're just going to make a pile of snowballs. See how it works. They do have holes in them, so I'm going to try to set them where the holes aren't showing. These are so cute. And we're going to pile them up like he's got a mound. Do you have them? Cool. I got glue all in my fingers too, which is kind of gross. Really need to get this glue off my hands. Hang on. All right, so I'm just gonna pile up some snowballs. And then once we resin, I'll probably put a few more on top of the pile. Just so, we might be able to do that now. Oh look, yeah. I thought they might shift, but I don't think they're going to. So let's just add a few more. So it's really nice and three-dimensional. Y'all, look at that. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. I'm gonna try to show it to you up close. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that pile of snowballs. So stinking cute. So now, guess what? We are ready to resin. I am like, oh no, how much resin do we need? I think I'm going to make, I need to find a cup. I need a clean cup. I need a clean cup. I need a clean cup. Let me grab a clean cup because I think I'm going to need about 3 ounces of resin. I don't want to make not enough. Eek. Eek. So let me find a usable cup because most of mine are not. Most of mine are not. And I'm continuing to see that they are not. Not usable. Hang on. Gotta go separate cup collection. All right. Found one. This is a really big cup though. Okay, so we have a good bit of glass, and I'm thinking probably 2 to 3 ounces. So, I actually can use this cup. Hang on. Uh-oh. So I'm going to mix up 3 ounces because I'd rather have too much than not enough. So I'm going to scooch this up a little. Isn't he cute? I love a snowman, a snow pal. And I'm going to grab my gloves. I'm going to mix up some resin. Okay. Isn't he cute? I'm glad we decided on the sign. It really brings a little extra something to the party. Okay, so let me look at my cup. My measurements are on my cup. So a little over 3 ounces is 100 millimeters. So I'm going to do 50 milliliters of resin and 50 milliliters of hardener. If it's not enough, Sheila, all I have to do is mix more. But, oh Lord, doing that makes me crazy. I hate it when I don't mix enough. So I like to try to get it right the first time. But it does happen, and it actually has happened on a live before too, where I had to mix more. But hopefully that won't happen here. So I am going to use the hardener for my art resin, and we're going to do 50 milliliters, which is just about 1.5 ounces, a little more maybe. So we're going to measure that. I'm trying to be careful. Whoop, hang on, we'll need to let it settle. That's almost 50. Let it go. Ooh, perfect. 50 milliliters, which is about 1.5 ounces. And now we're going to do 50 milliliters of the resin. So that'll be 100 milliliters total, or just over 3 ounces. So let's stop and let it grow. It's like molasses. You think you just have a little, and suddenly there's 10 gallons on your plate. Add a little more. I think that'll do it. Catherine, are you still here, boo? It is a reusable cup. All you have to do is wipe it out with a paper towel and a media wipe or a alcohol wipe, one of Gina's wipes. Gina is one of my members, and her family creates these mixed media paint wipes. And just wipe it out and reuse it the next day. Okay, so I'm going to use my silicone little brush, and I'm going to stir this for 3 minutes. So I'm just stirring and mixing, scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, much like what you would do with a box cake mix. You would always like scrape the bottom and check the sides and bottom to make sure all that powdery stuff's mixed in. So you want to do that with your resin to make sure it's all blended well. And you're going to do this for 3 minutes. I love them too. We're gonna do this for 3 minutes, so if anybody has any questions, the little sign, I actually bought these signs on Amazon a couple years ago because I used those in my shipping room to tag the colors of glass in the prepackaged kits. So you can probably find them on Amazon. Just look for a chalkboard sign. What do you do when you get resin on your hands? Wipe it off. I just use, I use these mixed media wipes as well, the wipes. They're really good for getting resin off your hands, and then soap and water. Wear gloves always. You could use anything for this sign, guys. You could even just paint a little square out of like brown and then write on it just like it's a little wood sign. You don't really have to have the sign. It does kind of give it a little 3D effect, but it's totally unnecessary. You could totally, how many times can I say totally? You could totally just paint the sign if you couldn't find one, or just get a scrap of wood. This one is from Amazon, the silicone applicator, Jane. I bought a bunch of them off Amazon, and but you can find them in the makeup section at most dollar stores. Let's see what happens to my questions. Carrie says, do you find this is more of a fall and winter business, or do you sell as well during? I sell year round. I sell year round. And let me just tell you this, we are moving in a couple of months to a new studio space. We're giving up our storefronts in lieu of a classroom. So we're gonna be teaching some in-person classes. So all of my art in my studio is on sale, rock bottom. If you know, if there's something I have that you want, just send me a DM or an email. We're going to be just a moving sale, getting rid of all the art. And then every time I do a live and do a piece of art, we'll be selling that piece on my website that day so that we don't collect a lot of art. Because we want to do, oh, I do that all the time, Kathy. We want to focus on teaching. Paint resin on both sides. I would do one side first, Sheila. Do the back first, and then flip it, let it dry 24 hours. Come back and then do the front. Time. Catherine says time. Yes. Hobby Lobby has everything. If it's invented, Hobby Lobby has it. They're not missing out on a nickel. All right, I'm going to pick this up and elevate my canvas because my table is wonky and I don't want resin drips. All right. And I'm going to move my sign, and I'm going to resin, and then I'm going to put my sign on top of the resin. Can you see all of this snowman? Oh. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom and just work my way up. And we're going to cover our little snowballs first. Now these are kind of frosty, so when the resin goes over the top, it's going to make them clear, not crystal clear. They still have a little iridescence to them. They'll still look like snowballs, but they won't have that frosted look anymore, which is fine with me. So I'm going to cover up my little snowballs. Then we're going to start at the bottom and just start covering our, don't you do it. Don't you do it. We're going to start at the bottom, work our way up, and cover the snowman. Yeah, you can find a little white beads or pearlescent beads or these kinds of beads. I don't remember where I got these. They were just in a little cup. I imagine that they came from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Most likely Hobby Lobby, but any clear or any pearlescent or white beads would work for the snowballs over in the jewelry department at your craft store. This is so cute. And you could totally use beads for his buttons and his eyes as well. No need to buy anything special. I'm gonna move his scarf because there is glass under there, and I wanna make sure, I think I am, I wanna make sure to get that glass covered. So I'm gonna move that, cover that glass, and then I'll put it back and cover it again. I don't want it to have loose bits underneath. And sometimes if you have something that covers a good deal of your glass, if you don't like resin under that, sometimes it'll wiggle. It'll have some loose little bits. I need to do some adjusting to his face too once we have the resin on. I see that I've bumped some little glass. Yes, Jane, I agree. Pearl would be excellent. So let's cover our hat. I may have over mixed resin, y'all. Probably 2 ounces would have been more than enough. That's all right. I got things I can resin, always. All right. I'm gonna make sure there's resin on his hat band. Let's pull it away. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of resin to the underside of his scarf, and then I'm gonna add it back to his neck. And scoot it over where I want it. And now we'll drizzle right on top of that scarf. So it'll run down his scarf and glue it to his neck. We'll cover these little bits. Make sure you get those Victograph arms. They can be somewhat fragile. So you want to make sure you cover those really nicely so they don't break off. And I'm just going to use my applicator to spread resin around. Y'all, I made way too much resin. I was worried about not having enough. I got way too much. That's how I've been rolling lately for some reason. All right, let me come over here. We'll spread this resin around. Get it under there. All right. Okay, I made what, 3 ounces, and I still have, I literally only used about an ounce of resin, maybe a smidge more. So do not make 3 ounces. I have way too much, okay? So before I put my sign back on, I'm going to look at my little fella. I'm gonna stand up and look at him because he's got, his cheekbone is a little out of whack here and his nose is shifting. There we go. Wipe that off. All right, I'm loving it. It's so cute. I'm gonna go around the edge with my finger, just because it seems like I always skip the edge, and for some reason this makes me feel like it's finished, like I did it all. All right, I'm gonna look at it. It looks all covered. I'm gonna take off my gloves, and I'm gonna use my heat gun to pop any bubbles that we created while we were mixing our resin. So we'll let it heat up a second. Remember, just run it over, and you can see those bubbles popping. Oh, I see a little skippy spot. Fix that. All right. Now, oh my gosh, he's so cute. Now I want to put my sign in. I do not want a resin on the top of my sign because I don't know how it's going to affect. I guess we can check the back and see. Let's see what's going to happen to the back. Oh, I don't know. That might be cool. Let's do this. Do the back, and then we'll place it. Should have kept my gloves on. I'm going to slide it right under, right there. Right there, smush it in a little. Now I'm going to use my glove, pick up my little applicator again, and I'm going to drizzle over the top of my sign, and then it's going to be wiggly. I'm going to just spread it around a little. That's going to stick really nicely. That worked out really well. So cute. I'm going to hit that with the heat gun again, because I do see a few bubbles on the top of the sign. That is stinking adorable. All right, let me get rid of that. Let me hit this with my heat gun. Woo! All right, let me stand up and look at him. Make sure he doesn't need a facelift or anything. He is so cute. Oh my goodness. And the crackle really stands out and looks super, super cool. I'm going to hold him up a little closer. Oh, look at that. That is so cute. Teresa, you can shop from me at artshattered.com. artshattered.com. And Carlotta, if you miss some spots when it's dry, you need to resin the whole thing. If it's a big spot, you'll need to re-resin the whole thing. If it's a tiny spot, you should just leave it and not worry about it too much. Pat, the arms are glass strings. It's called Vitrograph, and I bought those from Etsy. I'm going to turn the camera up. See if we have questions I need to answer. Not in the upside down mode though. Hey y'all. Hey. Okay, so whoa. Oh, that was scary. My camera almost fell in my art piece. Did you see that? Let me put some weight on back there. Oh. Okay, I want to see if I can show you guys a little bit. Probably not, but you can see the depth of him. Super, super cute. I'll take a really great picture of him and show you guys tomorrow. He is so cute. I love that we decided on the snowball sign, and the snowballs are so cute.